Hey guys, Tightrope here, bringing you a 2v2 today. We are on Belgorod. Play spawning on the right, we have Frost playing as the British forces with tactical support, mobile assault, and Commandos. Teaming up with him is Kurjam with Soviets, defensive, mechanized support, and counterattack. On the left hand side, we have Falco Nero 22 with breakthrough as OKW, and Zarko with Ostheer, Jaeger armor, German mechanized, and mechanized assault. In terms of rankings here, random team both sides. Kurjam around 20. Frost in the 60s.
A new infantry section is ready for battle.
Falco around 20 and Zarko around 200. Haven't heard of Zarko. I don't think I've heard of Zarko before, but it's nearly 8,000 Axis random twos games. It's a real Axis loyalist. So a bit of Kubelwagen action there from Falco. Got a M3A1 coming back the other direction. Could be trouble. Kurjam opting for only one combat engineer. And chuck the engineer straight in there, but he's crushing through some stuff. Thought he might go hunting for the Kubel, but coming to defend this point instead. Not a huge fan of that move. Quite a lot of Axis units in the area. He's taking a lot of damage from the small arms fire. And has to back out for repairs. Didn't get much accomplished there, just a sprinkling of damage. Section comes back to defend the cutoff, and it's going to be a close fight in close quarters between those two. Zarko was getting good model drops, but then this squad joining in. Going to swing it in Frost's favour. And 3A1 actually still quite low in health. Ducks back around the corner. The Sternpros maybe hoping to finish it off here. Might actually have been worth just driving in there, going for a push. But playing it safe, Kurjam gets away to go repair back up. But in the meantime, the Kubelwagen getting these squad's very low in health. Seems to be the MO of the Kubel, spreads its damage amongst the whole squad quite a lot, and start dropping models quickly. But with another squad arriving, actually there go the Fusiliers. Looks like Zarko making a bit of a breakthrough, of course, with a couple units from Frost in the middle and the north. Doesn't have enough to fight back on the bottom. Okay, here comes the assault officer. Managing to hold on to the fuel for the moment. A little bit clumped, taking some pretty big damage from the flamethrower. I think the flamer probably could have hung in there for one more burst. Same story there. I think Zarko should have hung in there. Winning this fight would mean winning all this territory down the bottom. I think it's worth trying to push those retreats a little bit later to ensure that happens. Else connecting there on the M3A1. Looks like it might have saved that section from going down. Kubel comes in for some rear armor hits here. 3 penals to follow this up for Kurjam. It's going to limp home, but only has the one combat engineer, so this is the unit that has to repair that M3 back up. And I feel like this M3 hasn't been used to its fullest potential. We have 2 Fusiliers though, which does complicate things. Playing this OKW play, they usually don't have those anti-tank grenades until around now when these tech trucks start to complete. Zarko does not have tech coming up, has gone for a relatively early mid bunker. Poser at his teammate's side, he should be putting down his tier 2. Oh, he hasn't got battle phase yet. Oh, that's a big mistake. Super late on the tech then. This was the golden opportunity. You know, Pi's already retreated back to base. Could get tech up probably in time to push out a, maybe a 6 minute-ish 222. through, but gives up the chase with the arrival of those grenadiers. Quite a lot of damage from the side as well, threatening. Feels like the penals though have been okay, not incredible. Generally you'd hope that they'd bully these Fusiliers a bit stronger before those recon packages come online and start being able to fight back with the G43s. Yeah, just fighting from long range in 3A1, not that powerful. There's quite a lot of damage drop off. Not ideal for it. So he's getting chewed up. Okay. Draws the fire with the Pios so that the Grenadiers can chase away the officer. Decent idea. Back half track in the build, about to pop out for Falco. Here come the Fusiliers now. Early mortar pit down by Frost. Jumps into the building behind that as well. The rifle nade, but I think everything's surviving. Maybe not this Grenadier though. M3 finally gets an opportunity to chase something down and takes full advantage of it. Grenadiers of Zarko are dead. Ooh, getting stuck. Oh, you could see they were winding up for the Faust, but they didn't quite get it off. That was close. Could use a bit of destroy cover on this tractor. That's exactly what he's going to do. What was that? Rifle nade was so slow coming through. Feels like sometimes the audio of the projectile getting launched arrives like earlier and later on some occasions, right?
Damned enemies trying to take a point from the enemy are attacking in emplacement.
Frost paying the price for putting down a mortar pit with really nothing to defend against a light vehicle. Kurjam also doesn't have any anti-tank. He's gone for 4 penals. He's upgrading one of them with PTRSs. Can put that inside the M3. But yeah, this is a bad spot to be in. Penals jump out of the building. They do manage to force back the flak, but oh wow. Okay, gets an incendiary grenade off. I don't know if that's going to be enough though. But I think Falco could have stayed in here for a bit longer to actually finish this off guaranteed. He's maybe a bit too afraid of the flares that came down there. I mean, at this stage of the game, 3 command points. What could it be that is so threatening that you have to retreat your whole army, you know? The officer kind of lucky that it's got, you know, off-map artillery smoke rather than the smoke that the pyrotechnic sections drop down, so a bit harder to read that. A bit of body blocking though by the P-Greens, hoping for the wipe. Don't quite get it though. Unfortunately, he kind of stopped to fire while the squad was retreating through this light cover. I think if he chased a little bit further and stopped as they were crossing the open road, even though there's no negative cover there, maybe would have been a better chance for getting the wipe. Ostheer trying to keep that flak half-track honest. And it's very low in health now. Got the officer brought in by Falco. Tame these penal troops. And he's going for a quad Kurjam. It's quite a late one. I'm not sure about it. It's on cooldown at the moment, but Officer able to get around the side anyway. Force the retreat on the machine gun. More pit heading home. Falco paying the price for not finishing that off. Well, quad is on the field. Typically, I'm more of a fan of going for the T70. If you're up against the flak half-track, it just has more armor. It's just an easier matchup to play as a Soviet player. In this case, we don't have any planes that the quad would need to shoot down. I suppose not at this stage. In fact, none at all, really, for just the recon plane for Jaeger armor.
Objective secured. Find cover.
No anti-tank planes or anything.
Orders complete.
But yeah, especially if you don't have an anti-tank gun to lean on, if you're going for like a Soviet Tier 1 strategy, it's just a lot easier to use the T-70 against the flak half-track than it is the quad.
Anti-tank gun has taken the field.
With Keaton now out for Falco.
Contact! Enemy fire!
Down from the PTRSs. At the moment, feels like this flak is often kind of just sitting by itself. Kind of needs a bit of screening infantry. You can have the officer there to provide vision. Try to catch these penals before they get in range. And suppress them early. You know, shut down their, or you know, multiply their reload by 4. Then they're probably not going to get any follow-up damage on you. Quad's coming in, but might regret that decision because there's that fresh Keaton right here. The flak was reloading. Not able to finish it off. That was a close call for Kurjam though. Bit of a lucky escape. A few PTRS shots connecting on the flak, but as I was saying, because it's suppressed, that reload's incredibly slow, wouldn't be able to get a second volley off, so the flak was quite safe to stay in there. Keaton pushing up to the north. This squad trying to plant some mines, getting caught in the act. And the M3 just dies up here. Is that to the Raketin? Yes, it looks like it. Found the angle. Quite a few mines down from Frost trying to guard this mortar pit, I imagine. He's got an AT gun out now as well.
We're losing a capture point.
A bit of trench work here from Frost. Just got to make sure he doesn't take an anti-tank, a rifle grenade rather. Wow. You see that? There was no animation that time. The animation played after the rifle grenade had already launched. It's crazy. But yeah, I would, as Zarko, be trying to fake out rifle grenades, try to force the unit in and out of the trench, just to buy myself enough time to decap the fuel. If the squad's jumping in and out of the trench, they're not going to be firing at you as often. And, you know, the Grenadier isn't going to be doing much damage to a squad inside the trench anyway. So it's just not that important to tie up one of your squads faking out that launch constantly. Panzer IV's down here now. Smashes through the sandbags, so that squad getting out of there at a nice time. Zarko does not have a machine gun, he doesn't have the munitions for it at this stage. And section dead up here, it looks like they might put a mine. Not entirely sure. Looks like they took, you know, it looks like they took a bundle grenade here and got wiped on retreat by the Panzer Grenadiers actually. Here comes the Cromwell though, connecting on the rear arm of Panzer IV. Gets a great hit on the penal side. So now the Cromwell's going to come in. Maybe crush off these sandbags. Crush a few Grenadiers as well. Just the one. So the Allies, though, struggling a bit for territory control. They have fallen behind on the victory points. Already down by about 100. But a Grenadier wiped down the bottom here. Okay, Cromwell getting some good hits. The Panzer IV wants to come back in, but he doesn't have any anti-tank gun support. You can see both the Axis players floating a crazy amount of manpower right now. Oh, wow. How did that not get an engine crit on the Cromwell? We heard it, I think it bounced, right? I think that's what it was. The Grenadier Faust, when it bounces, what is it, does 45 damage? Combat engine is dead up here. So every other anti-tank grenade would do enough to get the engine crit, but not the Ostheer one. So the mortar pit's finally going to go down here. COH is dead along with it. Fresh squad of commandos getting deployed by Frost now. Pretty big damage. But yeah, the counterpoint to that is that the Ostheer Panzerfaust has the most penetration by far. I think it's actually like 150-ish. So, you know, 150 divided by 160 armor. Incredibly likely it's going to penetrate, but not this time against the Cromwell.
A capture point is being overrun.
KW Panzer IV in the build now for Falco. And Kurjam's got to be careful here. Doesn't have any anti-tank gun. This T-34 could get overrun by a Panzer IV very easily. Just the one PTRS pinging. It's the mine now. Maybe that's the green light for Zarko to get going. He's bringing up the flak. Can suppress the PTRS squad. That would be really strong. But the PTRS squad ducking behind the blockers. Tempting the Axis units in. Meanwhile, the T-34 getting away up there. Comes the KW Panzer IV though. Zarko still. Look at this float, man. What is he doing? He's down to one grenadier. He doesn't have any anti-tank gun. Could be building caches. More grenadiers of anti-tank gun. So many options. Instead, he chooses 1,200 manpower. Don't get any interest. It's not like a bank. T-gun rolling up on the flank here. Well, they're still under some pressure, but the Cromwell's back up to full strength, can get involved. The base howitzer fire, trying to stop the Axis infantry in its tracks. And again, the rear armor exposed for Zarko with his tank. Cromwell tries to jam and does so successfully, but the AT gun gets decrewed. Cromwell's going to continue the chase. It has hit Vet. It pops the hunt, but it wasn't even necessary.
Battle drills for hammer attacks are ready for use.
Got the final shot in before the hunt was activated, so good idea. Extra penetration from hunts could have made the difference if he bounced that next shot, but oh, now what is this? Why are Axis driving around with the rear of their tanks exposed constantly?
We're losing a capture point.
Let's call for the flak if those PTRSs had managed to get 2 more hits in there. Put it on down. Zarko rebuilding the Panzer IV, but still after that, after a Panzer IV rebuild, 1,100 manpower. Zarko still, you know, also just way too much float. I feel like if the Axis just had used all their manpower here, they would have pressured the Allies almost completely off the map. 2 anti-tank guns queued up now for Zarko. Still ages away in terms of fuel from an elephant though, by the way. Trading a few hits head to head. You have the glider back here to provide some reinforced capabilities. Helpful when recrewing that 6-pounder that got decrewed earlier. Cromwell, meanwhile, doing a great job down the bottom of the map. Zarko with 90 tank guns and the Panzer IV in the middle. There's no response to this. And Cromwell up to a nice level of vet, so even if the Panzer IV did come up here, he would have a really tough time against this Vet 2 Cromwell. It's got, you know, a little bit of a reload buff, and it can pop the hunt. I'd say it's now favoured in the head-to-head. Extra bit of vision from the commander as well. It's shooting first, but here comes the AT gun. That could be a nasty surprise for Frost. He's pretty quick backing away, and the Panzer IV bounces that shot, so it doesn't matter in the end. Commando's here, sneaking behind the heavy cover. T-34 coming in, but the Raketten's right there. A Disca rolling up now for Kurjam. He's got enough munitions for the anti-tank overwatch as well. Close call on the T-34, but it's out of range now. The Panzer IV didn't go diving in to finish it off. Well, here it goes now. 6-pounders there, but it's under a bit of pressure from the Fusiliers. Looks like they're going to kill off the glider instead while the Panzer IV focuses on the infantry. Pounder just in range of it though. Cromwell fires off some smoke.
Our capture point. They're trying to take it.
Allies have done a little bit better on the victory points though. Now they're only down by about 70 instead of well over 100 it was earlier. So it still feels like they're behind, but not by as much. They're about to be suffering a triple cap here. The Commandos don't want to reveal themselves until that Panzer IV has gotten out of the area.
Bombers incoming.
Second combat engineer as well for Kurjam. There we go. Panzer IV leaves. Commandos spring their ambush, but forces a retreat, then kind of needs to get out himself. Could throw a smoke to try and get the decap on this point. In fact, he's waiting for the Cromwell to come down here. Look at how fast they're building that Talamine. That could be nasty. He ends up cancelling it instead. No sweeper, by the way, for Frost, but they are ticking. And double AT guns rolling down. Cromwell got it out of there in the nick of time. Put down a bit of destroyed cover there. Can that sweep mines? I don't know what its penetration value is. Big pressure here. Raketen looks likely to get decrewed. He's dropped down the anti-tank overwatch as well, just to zone out the Panzer IV. Ooh, lucky last shot from that T-34. Can finish off that Raketen now. Yeah, I mean, not the best use of the anti-tank overwatch. Didn't really do any damage to the Axis vehicles, but does allow a kill on the Raketen at least. Decrewed over here, ISG as well. And in fact, the Panzer IV is going to come back in, so it can take a bit of extra damage. Cromwell has to back out. Do have Hammer ticked. And there goes the Comet. It's in production now for Frost, as well as a second squad of engineers. I think that's a great idea. It's got some Brens now on the sections. Could be an idea to pop some pyrotechnics on them, boost up their vision. Could be very helpful, especially if you're trying to spot things like anti-tank guns. Extra sight is very helpful with your tank positioning. Okay, gonna try to plant a Talamine down here again. Slightly different position though. Equipping Piets on all these engineers. Okay, that's one way of speeding unis. Oh, we're just in some trouble, but here comes the Katyusha. Forces a bunch of retreats.
There's a Comet tank ready to go.
Pretty much everything surviving though. T-34 didn't get a clean hit, but could still get the flak kill. There it goes. I see Panzer IV coming up here, but could take a sticky satchel. The Penal's trying to get in range. He's activated it. Oh, it could lose his Penal for the attempt though. Just for an engine crit, not a kill tank. Maybe the Comet could come in there and finish the job, but probably too risky for Frost. Might not have seen that happening either, and random teams, so the communication's probably lacking a little bit. Is that a rebuild ISG from Falco? Why wouldn't you go for something else, like a walking Stuka? Not sure about that choice. He's got the Yak Tiger out though. Well, all of a sudden the Allies with the triple cap. Turn the VPs around. Let's see what this JT can do though. Is missing its first shot on the Comet. The double AT guns of Zarko not missing. Surely they're not both going to go for these big tank destroyers. Kind of seems like Zarko is saving up for the elephant. This is again where the random teams can kind of get you in some trouble in terms of coordination. Maybe otherwise you might go for like a King Tiger and an elephant, but no synergy on that kind of thing at the moment. Ran back into the grenade a little bit there. Yeah, all these craters start to make these commandos extremely effective.
Enemy causing trouble, trying to take one of our points.
Double AT guns for Zarko, they're doing a pretty good job. Switched over to Panzer Grenadiers, which is always a worry. You see somebody starting to spam Panzer Grenadiers and completely forgetting about Grenadiers. It's not a good sign. T-guns getting ripped to shreds by this infantry. The SU-85 coming down to assist. Kurjam. Oh, misses the kill shot. Now in some trouble from the side. The OKW Panzer IV and Yak Tiger getting in there. The Panzer IV backing away. Didn't get its chance to finish the job. No anti-tank Overwatch, but he just got the munitions for it. Opac's decrewed, and now the Brit tanks rampaging through the Axis lines. Steals one AT gun, kills the other.
We have lost an MG.
Devastating blow against Zarko, and now he's really down in the dumps. Has ticked battle phase 3, but hasn't got the tech structure down yet. I think he's still going for the elephant. Oh no, he picked up the Bren on his P-Greens? Why? Can't fire it on the move. If they could, it would be a better option, but since they can't, at least I'm like 90% sure they can't. It's not a good one. Where's this squad going? Going to throw a gammon bomb on the decrew weapon. I don't think it'll kill it. I think it's a little bit too healthy. Let's see. Oh no. Okay, there it goes. One P-Green equipped with the Shreks. I suppose that's a decent option to try and shut down units that can flank the elephant. Got the tier 4 tech coming up now. Zarko mistiming this elephant by not building that tech a few minutes ago. We have this elephant out, yeah, about close to 2 minutes ago if he'd constructed that tech earlier, and with 3 pyros should have been possible.
The enemy is taking our territory.
Heads for meanwhile getting bullied.
You now have command
Without the support of the anti-tank guns. See the P-Green Shreks not really getting the job done. Especially if you're up against the Comet, you know, that thing's got quite sturdy frontal armor. Bounces a lot of Shrek shots. Commando's launching a grenade here. Tiger wants to come down to the bottom. There's the elephant. Cromwell getting out of there. But the Allies have got the tools to deal with these. They've got the anti-tank overwatch. They can get engine crit on either of these super heavy tank destroyers. They can knock it out quite easily with that anti-tank overwatch. Looks like Frost actually rebuilt that infantry section that got lost. SU-85 rolling down here now. This means to the north, a little bit exposed, nothing to stop the Panzer IV except for some PTRSs. Before getting close, just ves it up nicely now. Got the extra scatter bonus, so it's just got to hit infantry almost every shot. Uh-oh. Officer forgotten about for Frost, he loses it.
Unit lost. Dash it all.
Dash it all.
Enemy threatening a capture point.
A lot of repairs out the back here for these allied tanks. But, you know, we brought it back to about a 30 VP difference at this stage.
Damned enemies trying to take a point from us.
So the Katyusha kind of just targeting the ISGs constantly. This one not such a successful barrage. Squad up here forced away by the quad. Gotta be careful though, that Panzer IV could chase it down and kill it quite easily. Often way out the back here, and what happened? Fusilier dead to the penals. Commando's a little exposed. Cheeky grenade trying to catch them on retreat. Doesn't quite work out, but might still get the squad anyway. Nope. Lucky shot from the Comet. Dropped the P-greens down too low to finish the job. Okay, second Comet in the build for Frost. That'll just about round out the composition by the time everything's reinforced, so this is his army. Zarko still has a lot of PopCap free, as well as a lot of resources. One P-green Shrek, one Panzer IV. Might not be enough to save this elephant if it gets in some trouble. I still think he needs an anti-tank gun. Getting down some Telemines though, that's a good idea. God, that's a weird spot for one on the edge of the flag. Don't see tanks driving through there too often. A little bit closer, you know, through this choke point would have been better. But yeah, a lot of Telemines down. Could be bad news for Frost if he doesn't send the sweeper up. He's only got one sweeper actually as well. He's bringing in the assault. Fighting a bit of recon. The infantry sprinting forwards. Tanks going down the bottom. Let's see if they end up running over this mine. They do. Cromwell takes an engine crit immediately. And here come the sweeping units. Spot all these mines. They could attack around them with the Piats, but he's going to try to sweep them. It's a little bit risky standing on top of a mine.
The weapon crew are, I'm afraid, quite dead.
Cleans it out though. 6-pounder dead all the way back here. How did that happen? What's doing their best back here? The elephant a little bit far in the rear, but does end up connecting. Comet's kind of having some halving issues, it looks like, around that VP flag. Taking a lot of damage. Luckily for Frost, that shot missing, but yeah, he's got a lot of repairs to do. Let's have a forward assembly up in the middle, though. But yeah, that Telemine there for Zarko worked out. Frost kind of driving down through here. Put a complete halt to Frost's momentum. Kurjam now has enough for 2 anti-tank overwatches. Really needs to find an opportunity to use one before the Allies fall too far behind. He's also opted for a 45mm AT gun. Alright. Something, I suppose. Just targeting the ISGs, it looks like. Going for the creeping barrage across as well. Creeping barrage forwards? Weird. Also coming the other way. A little bit of damage onto the AT guns. Not the best scatter though for Zarko. Is at least a little bit closer to his pop cap limit now. Could still squeeze in 1 or 2 more units though. He's back in the triple digits for manpower float at least. Shrek on that Grenadier now as well. Hit 5 officer, eh? Drops down that penal very quickly. Penals. So they're trying to sneak in for some sticky satchels. Zarko not allowing that to happen though. What was that grenade? Katyusha again out the back. This time just a regular barrage, not the creeping. But yeah, I don't know. I suppose Katyusha's doing alright, but feels like unless there's a unit just by chance running through that area, just hitting one ISG with a barrage feels like a bit of a waste. Okay, Frost tank's healthy again finally. He's trying to make some moves down the bottom, but running into quite a lot of defense. Oh, 142 decrewed by that Werfer strike. 10 kills now for Zarko. Nothing pointing this direction. We've got a bunker up now covering here as well. It's a pretty good idea, I think. With Zarko. Combat engineer's dead in the middle. Kurjam has fallen a little bit behind, but does have some resources to build back with. Blitzing out of there and gets out in the nick of time. Great use of blitz. Commando's providing that vision though, allowing the AT guns to be used to their full potential at max range. So they're going to be brought in to try kill off that bunker next. Gets the decoy on the ISG. Oh, he's close to sticky satchel range. Just about getting in there. Baits that T-34 over a talon mine, so that goes down. That was Vet 2, maybe even Vet 3. So it's a pretty big loss for Kurjam. He's going to rebuild it, but good move there from Zarko.
Enemy forces are attempting to capture our territory.
Okay, assault from Frost again. Takes just about all back up to full strength. Let's have the AT gun now. A lot of scatter, barely any damage. Here comes Frost. Bad start to the engagement. Cromwell peeling off though, still alive. Comets not going to keep rolling through. They're getting cold feet. They're going to back out. think because there were no snaring squads, it's quite safe for them to dive in there, get the job done, but instead, no, SU-85 in some trouble up in the north, meanwhile. Tiger chasing it away. Looks like it's trying to take down the Ford Assembly. It's low. Okay, T-gun decrewed, the Piet's leading the charge. A little bit of damage here, they're missing most of their shots as they always do. Got the anti-tank Overwatch dropped down, but no engine crits. Again, I feel like Kurjam not using this anti-tank Overwatch to its full potential. I think if there was some coordination between these two, you know, when Frost was kind of getting aggressive with his comets back here, the anti-tank Overwatch had been dropped back here, that would have been a GG maneuver. Would have been able to take out the Elephant very easily. But it's random teams, so coordination may be lacking.
We are losing a sector.
Okay, looks like he's trying to sneak his way into range for a couple gammon bombs to try and knock out that tech truck, but decided against it for some reason. Base howitzer fire back here, it sounds like, as well. Dead T-34 over here, I didn't mention it, but it's gone.
We're losing a capture point.
Decent hit from the walking Stuka. 3 kills. But yeah, the OKW Schwer is going to fall here. The Allies maintaining this aggressive position.
Command has been lost. Dispatching a mobile HQ vehicle.
Knocking it out relatively fast. Come all the Shreks though for these comets. This one on prioritized vehicles as well, not firing back.
Capture point is being overrun.
Frost a little occupied in the center. He's in some trouble with these AT guns. Trying to get out of here. There's 2 squads on retreat as well. There he goes now though. Looks like everything's going to escape that P-Green. Only has 1 Shrek. He hasn't rebought the second one after losing it in the graveyard, collecting it earlier. So not as threatening with just the single Shrek.
Standing by. We have 200 points remaining.
Yeah, VP's not looking too flash for the Allies, but they're in control of 2 points at the moment. Makes us just under 200 now. Rebuild on the T-34 for Kurjam. Frost has so many repairs, but at least now one of these engineers got vet. You know, there's pits connecting for enough anti-tank damage. Managed to vet it up. Effective grenade, actually a pretty good one. It's just jamming the cap for as long as they can, but they're a pretty expensive unit to be thrown in as cannon fodder. Wow, Werfer goes down.
Enemy action has destroyed our
Oh, but so is the SU-85. The Jaeger sniping it down that corridor of vision. And the Panzer IV feeling quite bold after that. There's no SU-85 to hit back, so he's in here. He's got the Vet 5 bonus. Here comes the walking Stuka looking to pile on the pain to Kurjam. T-gun decrewed. There goes the Dishka as well. T-34 gonna roll on. Gonna finally take out the Kubel. No, switches its attention over to the Raketa and he's dropping down the anti-tank Overwatch. Here goes the Kubel. And it's going to stop the Panzer IV from getting involved in this fight up here. I'm a little bit surprised by Falco keeping this in for so long. Could potentially get it decrewed here, but T-34's main gun missing a lot of shots. Still the points are draining from the Allies down to 76. 2 comets trying to get something going down the bottom, but the Elephant hitting for some big damage. It's just forcing the repairs. They do take quite a long time as Brits since that Vet 2 repair bonus. It's only 30%-ish. It's not the best. Do that to the Pyro's Vet 2. double. Of course, their sweeper doesn't upgrade the repair rate either, so it's going to be tough taking big damage like this as a brick player. Especially if you don't have the heavy engineers. Well, Peebling's down for Zarko, and somehow the Allies set up a triple cap here for a moment, but Frost in a sticky situation doesn't have the sprint. It's on cooldown, so say T-Gun's in some trouble.
Enemy causing trouble.
Is he going to steal away this decreed one? It looks like it with the pyros. Here come the comets now. The elephant's in the middle. Comet's doing a good job hiding around this corner though.
It's looking a bit squiffy. Line's been cut.
Elephant could, I think, attack ground here, but not doing so. Wow, what? I didn't even see that T-34 and it's dead already. So Werfer and the walking Stuka. It's looking grim for the Allies now. They took some big losses. It's going to be up to Frost to try and get something going with these tanks. There's some stuff to do down the bottom with both the big tank destroyers in the center. Frost seems to be just using all his tanks in unison, but if you sent this comet down here, you could bully away the Panzer IV easily. Put some damage on it, so it has to repair itself. 42 dead up here. Kurjam really struggling. This tier 1 build with... oh no, he's dropping down the anti-tank Overwatch again. It was by enough breathing room for the Allies to turn things around. It's not going to result in a tank kill, but I suppose in this situation, Kurjam doesn't have anything to flank or ram with, so maybe this is his best option. Still has enough munitions to activate it again once it comes off cooldown, so it's not a huge deal. But yeah, these anti-tank Overwatches just haven't been cutting it. I think I've thought a single one has been actively good. Okay, here come the Brit tanks. The engineers with the Piats assisting. Cromwell leading the charge. He's speeding in, but not war speeding in. He's dropping down. Air supremacy. The elephant now getting stuck. He's in some trouble, but the Jagdtiger getting involved from the other side. He's got to be careful he doesn't get hit by his own air supremacy. Gets out of range. But getting a couple of good penetrations on the front of the elephant. Comet's running good. Ooh, but they bounced that shot. That might have been the kill shot. The Comet's going to war speed forward to try and finish the job. The Jagdtiger's still there, and he gets it too. Oh, I think Frost's got a little bit lucky on the frontal elephant pins there. Now finds a walking Stuka back there as well. Comet goes down in the process, but that was, I would say that was worthwhile. Section dead up here though. Very low on infantry, could hurt the capping power from the Allies. Kurjam also see the Allies still behind on army even after all those kills. But definitely a good attack. Just falling. Frost still has 2 tanks, building a 3rd Comet, so he The door's open for him to try something like that again. Falco doesn't have that much supporting anti-tank. He's just got the one Raketin and the Panzer IV. It's not going to be enough to stop 3 Comets if it gets around the rear of the Jagdtiger.
Half-track is now available for operations.
And there's the glider. He has the one engineer for repairs as well, Frost, so that's trouble. Squad heading up to the north to cap.
They're trying to take it.
Axis about to gather the center. Quad still alive, by the way. Very nice job keeping that alive. Okay, well, there it goes. Okay, here we go. Comet's coming in from the side again. The Jagdtiger's already facing this direction, though. Dropping down the anti-tank Overwatch, though. The Jagdtiger doesn't want to stop here. He needs to stop if it wants to shoot, though. One Comet down. They're finally getting around to the rear. The Elephant just skating itself along the edge of the anti-tank Overwatch, so it's getting hammered. Oh, what was that pathing from Falco? He just backed out a little bit. He was right on the edge of the anti-tank Overwatch. Now the Comet's just continuing on their rampage. There's a Werfer back here that just fired, revealed itself. Bouncing a lot of shots on this Panzer IV, though. Trying to focus on decrewing the pack. He throws out a crew grenade. Quite get it, though. Here goes the Panzer IV. However, I think the Piets triumphant, and 2 Comets escape. Comes a second Raketin now for Falco. Well, you probably would have been better off just saving some manpower going for a Panther, but I suppose he actually hasn't rebuilt his tech truck, has he? So it's not an option.
We are down to 75 points.
Now the Axis themselves in some trouble on the VPs. For those 2 big armored plates from Frost. You're partially enabled by the Axis lacking infantry-based anti-tank, so as soon as this came down, just completely zoned them out from supporting whatever the Comets were targeting, but kind of gave up on the mine sweeping as well. I mean, the mine planting as well, Zarko, after shutting down a couple of those earlier attempts. I suppose Frost did do an okayish job of sweeping on a couple of those moves, though. If you slow the units down, you get a couple of elephant shots in the process, maybe it can work out. Just coming out of camouflage there. Here comes the Werfer. T-34 is in some trouble. Oh, the Raketin misses the kill shot. Unfortunate for Falco. Just an all-out war for the central VP area. Commando's doing a good job, though. They hold it down. It's down to 37 now. Comes the Brumbeer, though, finally coming out from behind building and hiding. Commando surviving. Officer winning the fight in the north. Hit 3 Comet. Look at how fast it is. It's heading up. The Comet so fast, is gliding out of harm's way. And here come the Commandos now looking for the decrew. Zarko not respecting this. Going to lose the AT gun. Just capping in the center now, though. Gonna be able to get the neutralize off. Here come the tanks rolling in on the Brumbier. Panzer IV's nearby. We're in a little bit of trouble, but the Raketten's hitting quite hard. One comet going down, the second Raketten getting involved now as well. Brumbier does fall. Fresh Elephant out for Zarko, getting stuck in as well. Gets some decrew, but T-34 did it. Stuka hammering away. Carnage in the late game. Hard to tell who's going to come out on top. Seems like the Axis at this stage. A fresh Comet though arriving for Frost. Maybe that can make some big plays happen. Doesn't quite get into the center close enough to stop the capture though. And the engineers here quite useless. The sweepers with the Piats, this vetted squad, not really doing too much, and I think the Comet should have been down the bottom here, clearing off these pyros so he could cap this and maybe stop the cap from happening. Triple cap against the Allies now. And the Elephant's rolled down. He's got the recon plane up so he can see the Comet's rotation. Oh, and there's that one of those mines. Knocks out the Werfer, but there we go. It's too little too late. And the Allies end up going down. Yeah, it was a bit of a shame. Felt like the Allies were kind of struggling to apply the units correctly throughout a lot of this game. Eventually Frost, realizing that they're about to drain out down to 30-ish VPs, started making some big plays with his tanks, and they worked out pretty well for the most part. But the Axis had just enough to fight back and win right on the tail end. It seemed like kurjam is taking crazy casualties in those last couple fights. Wasn't able to contribute much. I think, this anti-tank Overwatch, maybe we saw one, maybe two good activations of it this whole game. Especially considering kurjam pretty much spent all his munitions on this. Don't think it was used to its full potential. But yeah, GG. Well done. Frost almost turning it around, but the Axis had just enough to close out the show. Well, anyway, guys, wrap on that. If you like your game to be cast by me, details are in the video description below. Otherwise, I'll catch you off the next thrilling installment. Goodbye and good luck.